Hello, everyone, and welcome to Social 101. We have Kiki with Blonder Ambitions and the Guild on with us today. So welcome, Kiki.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thanks for having me.
I am so excited for what you have to teach us today. For those of you who don't know, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Blonder Ambitions blog? It has more than 5 million views, right?
Yes. About a month ago, I just ticked over the 5 million marker. It was a really exciting day, and I'm exceptionally glad that I decided to join Nu Skin 9 months ago and integrate that with my blog.
So what is, when you started Blonder Ambitions, tell us a little bit about that, about how you created Blonder Ambitions and kind of what your brand is with Blonder Ambition. And then I want to understand how you tied Nu Skin into that.
Totally. So I started Blonder Ambitions while I was in law school. So it was an escape for me. Law school was targeting my left brain. Blonder Ambitions was targeting my right brain. And after I passed the bar exam and it came time to practice law, I realized I was far more right-brained than left-brained, and I threw myself entirely into that blog. And my main mission when I was creating it, it wasn't to make money, it wasn't anything like that when I began it. It was an outlet, and it was also a place that I could kind of create this safe space for happiness. And I wanted people, I felt like the internet had so much negativity on it, I wanted this space that women could come to and feel inspired and feel safe and feel like they could jumpstart their day in a positive way. And
that is your superpowers. I mean, there's just a lot of negativity and there's a lot of competition. And one thing that I have noticed in the 9 months that I've known you at Nu Skin is how much you build other people up. It's never a competition. It's always just like we're all better when we work together and build. And I love that and I feel that in your brand. I've always felt that about your girls, but it's not like anyone's excluded. I love everything about that, and it just shows. So thank you for adding more sunshine to the World Wide Web, because there's not enough sunshine out there.
Oh, thanks, Kathy. And you kind of nailed two of the things that we say in our group. One of them, our hashtag is community over competition. And then another hashtag we always say is you can sit with us, because inclusion is a really, really big deal.
Yeah, and I love that. So how did Nu Skin fit with this? I mean, to me, Nu Skin is the perfect fit for something like all of us building together. That just speaks to me with Nu Skin. But how did you kind of integrate Nu Skin into your blog brand without feeling like you were giving anything away from your current brand that you had worked to build?
Totally. So it was very important to me to stay true to my brand. And so anybody that you might be bringing onto your team, anybody that's listening out there, you want to understand if they have a currently existing brand, that means a lot to them. They've spent time building that. And the beautiful part about Nu Skin is the product portfolio is so diverse that if someone is authentically being themselves online, some of those products are going to come up naturally. Like for me as a woman, it's easy for me to talk about cosmetics. It's easy for me to talk about my hair. It's easy for me to talk about skincare. And then now I'm branching into oils. I'm branching into all kinds of other things as I dive deeper into the product portfolio. So there's a way to bring it up naturally and conversationally. The internet, people tend to lose track of this. It's basically just like having a conversation. So when you're sharing something on social media, you want it to be natural and conversational, and that's how I bring the products up. Nothing's in your face. It'll be something like, maybe I'll throw up a selfie, and I'll say something like, I love my new skincare routine. So it's in the comments, and then someone will message me, and then that's a sale.
Which is perfect. I mean, it works, like you said, it just works seamlessly. It's just part of who you are, and Nu Skin is part of your routine and right. Who you are. So it's perfect because it's part of, like you said, it's just a normal conversation. Now, tell me a little bit about, I have a couple more questions for you. You have created a new brand since you started Nu Skin, the Guild. And I love the Guild. So tell us about kind of how you came up with the Guild, and then how you created that brand and how you worked that brand in together. Because that's your Nu Skin kind of specific brand, right?
It is my Nu Skin specific brand. So I realized Blonder Ambitions, just by the nature of the blog, and it's been around for 5 years, it was about me. And that was just the nature of that site. And I said, This has to be a team thing. I don't want anyone coming in with me, alongside me, feeling like this is about me. I want them feeling like this is about us, because in my mind it is about us. So I thought about it for a couple weeks and realized I didn't want to rebrand. I wanted to keep my currently existing brand and leverage it into a new brand.
Okay.
And so that's something that I think is also really important for people to know. If you're in this business, you're already entrenched in it and loving it, or you're new to it, you don't need to have a currently existing brand to do well on social media. You can start that brand right away. I started the Guild on May 12th of last year, and it has become its own entity and its own animal, and that's the exciting part about it.
And I could be in the Guild, but not Blonder Ambitions with my
Kathy, there is room for you. There is room for you.
I wouldn't have to change my whole look.
Right, exactly.
No, but I love that. I love that you created this new, and it is, they both work well together, and I see them. So I see you post, you do a ton on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a lot of confusion for people on how Instagram can kind of work with our social selling business, because you can't make transactions there. The conversations are a little bit different in Instagram, but I know that you're huge on Instagram. So talk to me a little bit about how Instagram kind of fits in with your whole social strategy.
I love Instagram because I feel like Instagram, I've used this example with my girls before when I'm teaching. So if you imagine Facebook, you have a magazine like Vogue, and Facebook is the articles, but Instagram, those are the ads, and people buy from the ads. So a picture is worth 1,000 words, and Instagram is primarily photo-based. So the concept of attraction marketing, of someone buying you. So what we teach in New Skin, is you are the product. Right. So if you are the product, then why not expand that concept to your lifestyle as part of the product? It's part of the business opportunity, where you have your work meetings, where you get to travel, what you're wearing that day. People like it. They see that it's fun. They're wondering, how every day can I wear whatever I want? It's because I'm not going to a corporate 9 to 5. I'm working for myself. And these kind of little things really are highly effective at getting people to trust you and relate to you and kind of adapt to the brand culture that you're creating. And the reason that is a very, I think, significant component of the business. If you're looking at the way the business was done before the internet, it's relationship building, right? It's that eye contact, it's that trust. And it's difficult to build that, I think, the same way on Facebook, because it tends to be text heavy.
Right.
The eye contact and the images on Instagram build that relationship feeling. So you can leverage a photo. If you put something up on Instagram and someone writes to you, there are many different ways to turn that into a transaction or a relationship. You can respond in the comments. You can direct someone up to your link up in the top of your bio, which can be a live website for either your New Skin OPS site, or it could be a personal blog you have or something like that then redirects to the New Skin website, or it could be your Facebook business page. So people think of Instagram as a place where it's just Instagram, but a lot of people are unaware of the fact that Facebook purchased Instagram.
Right.
Right? So if we see
really
what
well
Facebook's doing, they work seamlessly. They're run by the same people now. Mm-hmm. And if you think about that, things that Facebook's doing with its functionality, they did live video, right? Well, now Instagram has live video. So you put 2 and 2 together, maybe a lot of the other functionalities will soon be coming over to Instagram, like the ability to accept payment through a message, the ability to send links. And if that's going to be coming, you want to be ahead of that trend, not behind it.
Well, and I've even seen in your stories, you can put links now.
Yes,
so
you can.
I've seen some girls from the Guild who I follow where they'll do live posts and they'll do something and then they'll put a tag or they'll tag someone else or they'll put a link and then again direct people through just telling a story or in the videos onto a blog or I've seen people do to OPS on yours where they're talking about, you guys did an amazing thing on Nourish the Children and you talked about it and you had links in there pointing to how to donate.
Exactly.
And that, I mean, it was really powerful because it was telling this whole story with links embedded, because the story does let you embed things where posts don't do that as much. But using the story feature, the live video feature, you can definitely like start adding, and I've seen you guys do that. So I know, I mean, I've been watching the power of how that works, but it creates so much emotion before you're sending a link out because it's so
really
visual.
Does. I love how you brought up the emotion, Kathy, because I feel like that is the key of Instagram marketing. Instagram is emotion. So when you kind of draw that situation up, especially with the stories, that is a huge feature of Instagram because they've taken a cue from Snapchat in that format of, listen, the joy of the story is this is really happening right now. So it's like a series of live videos edited together throughout the day. And people are really attracted to that. It's a fabulous way to prospect because you can see a list of the names of the people that are watching your video repeatedly. So It's just like in life, you'll know that person wants more contact with you. So it's not as strange at that juncture to reach out because now they're a warm market.
And when you see that person's name and that they're following and watching, again, like you said, you're reaching out to them. You don't just sit and wait for people to like ask you, what do you do? Right. You can see the, I don't want to call them stalkers, but the fans and the friends out there. You can see them and you can see that they're watching your stuff. And then that gives you, like you said, a warm market that you're reaching out to, and you can bring them into more information, you know, or to a page on Facebook or the blog or wherever where you can get them more integrated. I love that. I love the tying those pieces together. But I agree with you that Instagram it creates that feeling and that emotion. And you really feel like you get to know people better, I think, through Instagram than some other channels. It's a more personal channel, I feel like.
It definitely is. Something that I would caution people on with Instagram is it is a more personal feeling, but something that if you look at Instagram accounts that are doing well, they don't have that raw edge, that raw quality that Facebook has. They're polished.
Yeah.
So when you post something on Facebook, it can kind of be on the fly, and no one's going to judge you for that. But on Instagram, that has to be really thought out. That has to be an edited photo, and that content that you post has to be fairly consistent for someone to want to continue following you. You're creating a brand.
Yeah. I need to be better about my photos. I'm gonna filter them a little bit better.
I have 10 minutes free after this interview, and I'll help you with my editing programs.
I'm gonna be like, kids, you gotta comb your hair before you get my We all know it is. Okay, I love this. Any other parting thoughts? Any other things that you really feel like you get asked a lot with social selling, or different pieces that we kind of haven't really covered that you want to add in?
Yeah, people always ask me how I've accumulated so many followers. So they think that there's some huge secret behind this. And in complete honesty, I think, one, you have to be consistent. All right. So some people think, 3 to 5 posts a day, they get really overwhelmed because social media, though it looks easy, is quite time consuming. Once a day is more than enough when you're building a brand. You just want to be in someone's stream of consciousness. So consistency will get you followers, a consistent look in your content, like I just mentioned, and above anything, authenticity. So if you don't yet know exactly who you are, take some time to figure it out before you start posting. Figure out your likes, your interests, your passions, your personality, who you want to convey to those people, and then stick with that. And the reason I think I have so many followers is for 5 years, I have honestly been me. So when someone connects to me, they're not connecting to someone that's shifting and changing and constantly changing their image, because it's who I am. And that's your strength, is being exactly who you are.
I love that. And one of the things, and I've talked about it before, but when you were introduced at convention, you did a 15-second video of your posts.
Yep.
And it told your whole story because, like you said, your posts tell who you are. So you could take probably almost any combination of your posts, and it would make people feel like they know you. And I think that's probably a really good litmus test for someone is if someone looked at yours or if they pulled 15 seconds of your pictures together, would they know who you are?
Kathy, I love that. I'm going to use that. I'll give you credit. I'm totally going to use that. That's fantastic.
That was one of the things that really hit me when you were speaking at convention. That whole, this is introducing, and it does. It tells the story of who you were. And I think that there's so much power in that. So if someone did that, would they know who you are? Or are you so all over the place?
Right.
They don't really know you. And that's probably a really good, like I said, litmus test for that. I love that.
I love that. I love that you call it a litmus test. I totally approve of that. I think that's totally accurate.
My brain was talking.
Yes.
It's all those fancy books behind you that make
Just by osmosis. There you go. There you go.
I love it. Okay, I think that is perfect. And I appreciate you so much taking time on this Social 101 to spend some of your time to help teach the field the things that you know. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Kathy.
So thanks, everyone. Bye.